If you buy the wrong first bourbon, you don't just waste money, you ruin your first impression of whiskey. And 2 bottles cause more confusion than any others. Walk into almost any liquor store, and sooner or later, you'll hear the same 2 names: Wild Turkey 101, Maker's Mark. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one fits you and which beginner mistake makes people regret their first bottle. This is not about which bourbon is better. These 2 aren't special because they're the only good options. They're special because they sit at a crossroads: price, availability, and expectation. They're often the first serious decision a new drinker makes. Every bourbon on the shelf has a reason to exist. The question isn't which one wins. The real question is, what kind of first experience do you want? If you're new here, this channel isn't about collecting bottles, it's about choosing the right ones at the right time. Let's start with how these 2 actually drink. Wild Turkey 101 hits first. You feel the proof immediately. It's bold, direct, and it doesn't apologize. Maker's Mark does the opposite. Softer entry, sweeter notes, less shock, more comfort. But here's the part no one tells beginners. The biggest regret people have with one of these bottles has nothing to do with taste and everything to do with what it teaches you about bourbon. That difference matters more than most people realize. Let me tell you where people actually regret their first bottle. Not because it was bad, not because it was cheap, but because it taught them the wrong lesson. A first bottle doesn't just introduce a flavor, it trains your palate. And training matters. Wild Turkey 101 trains you to expect punch, heat, and intensity. Maker's Mark trains you to expect smoothness and sweetness. The regret comes when people assume that's what bourbon is and stop exploring. Those other bottles, they exist to catch you after your first lesson, not before. These aren't the best bourbons. They're the clearest teachers. So the real question isn't, which one should you buy? It's, what kind of bourbon drinker do you want to become? I'm not going to tell you which one is better, because that's the wrong question. The right question is, what do you want your first bottle to teach you? If you want your first sip to shock you a little, to let you know this is real whiskey, Wild Turkey 101 makes sense. It doesn't hide, it doesn't apologize, but if you want your first bottle to ease you in, to teach you how to stay with a drink, not fight it, Maker's Mark does that job better. Most beginners don't quit bourbon because it tastes bad. They quit because they started with the wrong teacher. Those other 8 bottles, they're not alternatives to this choice. They're steps that come after it. So, in the next part, I'm not tasting these like a reviewer. I'm tasting them like a beginner would. One mistake at a time. Same glass, same pour, no labels, just the first sip. This one arrives fast. You feel the proof. You feel the spice. It makes a statement, not aggressive, but definitely confident. This one takes a second longer. Softer entry, rounder texture, less push. It doesn't demand attention. It invites it. If you're chasing intensity, you'll lean one way. If you're chasing comfort, you'll lean the other. Neither choice is wrong, but for a first bottle, one of these makes you want a second sip. The other makes you want to understand bourbon. Knowing which one you need, that's the real win. The goal isn't to drink more, it's to drink smarter. And every bottle after this starts here. If this helped you choose your first pour, stick around. We're breaking down the next steps, one bottle at a time.